guys, today I am going to do a tutorial on how to achieve nice defined brows that still look natural and not awkwardly boxed in. So I'm going to share with you 3 techniques that I do. I kind of alternate them, like depending on the mood I'm in or how dramatic I'm trying to be. The first method will be a eyeshadow method, which is probably the easiest to learn because it's very forgiving, easy to erase your mistakes if you need to, and it's very quick for every day. The second method will be even faster in my opinion, but takes a little bit more skill, and it's using a pencil, but the pencil I use is very blendable and beginner friendly, so it's definitely a good option if you're just getting into stepping up your brow game. And the third option is definitely a more dramatic look, sort of what I do when I have heavier eye makeup on. I'm actually sporting the look number 2 right now, but I could easily make it a little bit more dramatic and it would be totally fine. So this is sort of like what my face looks like with all the makeup on, but I'm going to go ahead and take it off just to do the tutorial. And because I usually do my eyebrows right after my foundation and then go ahead and put everything else on top of it. So that way I kind of have like my canvas, my frame, and then go. So anyway, I hope that you learned something from this video and enjoy it. And let me know if you have any requests or if you'd like a tutorial on this makeup that I'm wearing now. And just let me know if you have any comments or questions and I'd be happy to get back to you. Hope you enjoy! So the first technique I'm going to show you guys today is using eyeshadow. I'm using Faux by Lancome. It's just a matte brown shadow that matches my natural eyebrow color. And it's good to use eyeshadow because it's easy to blend, easy to apply, easy to erase any mistakes, and it goes on pretty natural looking. So to apply it, I'm going to use the MAC 208 brush, which is just a little angle brush meant for your brows. And one thing that's important to remember with the eyeshadow is that you have to make sure that it's matte because no one has naturally shimmery eyebrows, so that'll be like a big tell that it'll just look pretty fake. So what I'm going to do is just get a little bit of the product on my brow brush and then I'm going to start at the outer corners and start creating that shape from the bottom. And then I'm going to use small strokes to work my way towards the front. And then once I get to like the middle front area, I am going to just use whatever's left on my brush, and I'm going to define the bottom line and the top line with whatever's left. And then I'm going to use a little spoolie brush to blend that out, so that way I get definition without it looking boxed in. And then I can always go back with what is left on the brush and just go back through there one more time. Okay, so that looks pretty good to me. So then to seal it, since it is just eyeshadow and it rubs off pretty easily, I'm going to use the Anastasia brow gel. Oh, I have that upside down, but anyway. And you're just gonna comb that through your brows, and this is just a clear gel that really makes your lashes just stay in place. They won't move, they won't rub off as easily, and there'll be no little hairs like sticking up and down, whatever. So it's definitely a great setting product. And so that is the eyeshadow method. So you can tell before, after. It's just a natural looking brow that has some definition and shape to it. My other favorite way to create an everyday brow look involves Anastasia Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. It's just an eyebrow pencil, but what I love about this is that it's super blendable. It's very easy to work with, and it looks very natural. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in a similar way that I did with the eyeshadow and kind of work my way towards the front. So this bottom part I'm going to make more defined, and then just slowly bring it up with little light strokes. And I tend to like to make the tail of my brow a little bit darker than I do the beginning. That way it's just more noticeable since there's less space there. And then once again, I'm going to define sort of the upper and lower limits of my eyebrows with the pencil, just using small strokes. And it looks a little silly until I blend it out, but just wait. So then I'll take my spoolie brush again and just brush that out. And then you can kind of go back in if there's any places that you want to add a little bit more. And then I'll blend it out again. And then I'll just go ahead and follow it up with the same gel that I used for the eyeshadow look. It's pretty much my go-to for finishing off my brows. So as you can see, this is slightly more dramatic than the eyeshadow, but it's still very nice for every day. And it gives a nice shape and definition without looking unnatural. So you can see before they look kind of thin and sparse. And especially like the front is very hard. My eyebrows aren't very thick in the front, so it's nice to add a little bit of thickness there too. So that is method number 2. So the third method requires 2 different tools. I'm using the MAC spiked pencil to do the tail, and then I'm using the tattoo liner for additional sort of definition. So for this one, I'm going to start out with my pencil, and this one is slightly more pigmented than my other options, but I'm going to go about it in a similar way. First, I'm going to draw the tail. It's really easy to get a very sharp line with this because it's a very small pointed tip. And I'm going to work my way through the brow, just like I did with the other pencil. And you can also use the Anastasia pencil for this. I just feel like this one is slightly more pigmented, and you can get a thinner, sharper line at the edge. And then to really add drama, I use the Kat Von D Tattoo Brow to go over the lower limits of my brow. And that'll just make it nice and sharp. And then I'll just blend that out with my spoolie brush a little bit. And then now that I have that strict definition, I can go back in with the brow pencil and make sure that there's no gap. So then I'm just going to blend it out one more time and then set it with the brow gel. So that's obviously more dramatic. I usually save this for when I'm doing bigger eye makeup, where my brows can be more pronounced without looking strange. It looks a little bit weird without like other eye makeup on. And then like what I usually do even for every day is I'll follow along the bottom line with a sort of highlighter shade and then blend that out with my finger to give it an even crisper line and better contrast. So that's before and after for a dramatic brow. So one more tip, just to sort of polish off your lashes and make them look extra defined, is to use a concealer or a highlighting pen. I talked about in my dramatic look, I use the Benefit Eyebrow underneath. So I have my brows done in my everyday format, but I can still do this even with the everyday look. Just sort of blend it out to give it a highlighting effect. And then I also like to, when I'm going for a more defined look, I also like to use a little bit of concealer around the upper area just to make sure, and I just use my finger for this, but if you want to get more precise, you can definitely use a brush, like a little concealer brush. But I just go around the top edges. And then just make sure that you blend. So then you have a nice highlight for nice definition. So I just wanted to show you guys what it looks like with a full face of makeup on, sort of how the brows are situated in there. So yeah, this I just did the second technique with the Anastasia brow pencil and the brow gel to top it off. But if I want to make it a little more dramatic, I can always go back over that with a pen. But for now, I'm just going to leave it as is. There's one other thing that I wanted to mention. If you're trying to stay on a budget, I know like all these products that I used are kind of expensive. A lot of them I got in like a kit in Sephora, like the brow gel, the Kat Von D, and the Anastasia pencil, and actually this Benefit Eyebrow. It all came in like a kit where it had all of that plus a Smashbox one, which I use sometimes, but I like my other ones better. And it was like $40 for the whole kit. So that's kind of how I built my collection of nice brow products. But if you can't afford to like buy each individual product right now, one thing that I used to use, I haven't as much, and this, sorry, this is like really old, like the paint is kind of worn off, but it's this Revlon Brow Fantasy, and I really like it because it comes with both the pencil and the setting gel in one, and it's super affordable. I definitely don't think that it has the same staying power as the more expensive pencils, but it's definitely easy to work with, easy to blend, and I think it gives you a really natural looking brow on a budget. And the nice thing is that the gel part of it is tinted, so sometimes if you're like running late and you really don't want to like take time to do your brows, but you still want to like put something on, literally just like swipe it through. That's kind of why I keep one of these around, is for like when I'm in a hurry, and also like if I'm traveling and don't want to take like two separate products. This has like a 2-in-1. The only bad thing is the packaging. Like this thing falls off really easily, so don't just like throw it in your purse and go, because I did that and the cap came off, and I got eyebrow pencil in my purse. So yeah, definitely like put it in a makeup bag or something if you're gonna throw it in your purse, but it's a great low price option. Once again, it's the Revlon Brow Fantasy. And I'll have down in the description bar, I'll say like what I have on my eyes and like what my lip color and everything is. So if you're interested, check it out below, and I hope you enjoyed this tutorial on how to get nice defined brows. Thank you for watching. See you later.